And I'm back with more Dual Destinies. Should only be 2 more episodes to the end of Case 5-5. Phoenix Wright has fingered Bobby Fulbright as the true culprit behind everything. But they gotta prove it. So, let's see what happens. Let us now reconvene. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has never been more ready. You know, it's the first time we've been at the defense bench since I debuted. Now that you mention it. Although back then I thought you were more loud than reliable. You've really come a long way since then. You've grown a lot. Well, been some hiccups, but I guess I've done pretty well. Still got that ego of his, though. Prosecutor Blackwell, with the 7-year mistake now resolved, you could take your rightful place. I guess we could keep the chit-chat for later. Bailiff, please bring the witness immediately. Even with those handcuffs off, he still seems pretty much the same. 7 years of grumpiness don't go away that easy. Bobby Fulbright here. Heard I was needed on the stand, so here I am. Detective Fulbright, do you know why you've been called to give testimony? Yup, because there's only one reason I'd be called. And that is because it's time for justice. In justice we trust. You can't fool us with the act anymore. Your justice is nothing but lies. What? Are you questioning the integrity of my sense of justice? I mean, sure, sometimes I make mistakes, but hey. He's acting the same as always. Tell me about it. Must be feeling awfully confident. Fulbright. If you wish to dispel your suspicion, let's get to your testimony. Alright, fine. You want me to prove my righteousness? I can certainly do that. I'm the very embodiment of justice itself. I won't have you make me a villain with your far-fetched arguments. And this bit about the escape route's only a theory. You don't have any proof. What we do have is proof that Athena Sykes is the culprit. The lighter with her prints on it. So you're saying the suspicions against you are false, and that the defendant is the real culprit? That's right! Mr. Lawyer's escape route is totally circumstantial. He didn't have any proof I made that big leap onto a ladder. We don't have any proof. You are correct about that. However, you don't have any proof about your claim either. Well, I guess you're right. But you can't define justice with evidence. Who can define? If you can't define it, well, justice just is.
Objection!
Don't make me break out a dictionary. Don't throw the book at me. Tell me the Phantom did just set up a stupid pun. Let's just not lose focus, okay? But my justice is crystal clear. What's not clear are your eyes. Wake up and smell the justice. Silence. Oh! Enough of your rubbish, Fulbright. If you even have an ounce of justice, then you will answer the court's questions and prove it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Damn, he looks torn. Well, Fulbright was his partner, after all. Prosecutor Blackwell is right. The truth will be revealed in the cross-examination. The suspicions against the detective are, at this point, only suspicions. As is my duty, I will judge the claims and the detective as impartially as I can. Does anyone have any objections? That's fine. No, ask away and don't hold back. Well, there don't appear to be any objections. Very well, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination. Okay, so press. Oh, everything the villain. Okay.
Hold it!
My arguments are hardly far-fetched. There's careful reasoning behind my theory. Yeah, well, apparently there's reasoning behind even a tofu burger. Hey, tofu burgers are probably good. Usually. What we have against Miss Sykes, though, that's not just reasoning, but solid evidence. And it's called the lighter with her fingerprints in the victim... on it in the victim's blood. Yeah, that's true, but... wait. Detective Fulbright was the one who brought that evidence to the trial. If you harbor any suspicions, I suggest you ask Fulbright. Especially about that lighter. He's right. What should I ask about? So how many prints were found exactly? 3! Thumb, index finger, and the middle finger of a right hand. Your Honor, that's an important statement. Could we have it added to my testimony? You got it. He beat me to it. Be it investigating or testifying, speed is the key.
Objection!
You say the prints were from a right hand? That's right! Very clear. That just doesn't add up. Huh? What doesn't add up? According to Miss Blackwell, who saw the culprit herself, this person held the lighter in their left hand. Huh? So here's the dilemma. Why are the prints on the lighter in the right hand instead of the left? Ugh! You're right. It doesn't make sense, does it? Your Honor, this lighter can hardly be called incriminating evidence. The witness's claims don't even hold water. Detective Fulbright, I hope you have a good explanation. I just can't understand it. They're definitely right-hand prints. But why are they inconsistent with their test statement? I've got it! What have you got? The mirror! The witness must have seen a reflection of the culprit in the mirror. Go on. Miss Blackwell was looking in through the window of the boarding lounge, wasn't she? I believe so. If you mean that little window in the back to the right of the room. That's right! And across the room on the opposite wall is a large mirror. I do remember seeing it. Oh, so you're saying... Yeah, the culprit must have seen her through a reflection of that person in the mirror. I see. In that case, right and left would appear reversed. Now do you see? That's the logic of pure justice.
Objection!
But your argument's only conjecture. You don't have any proof that what Miss Blackwell saw was a reflection. Right, Dono. You'd sooner nick yourself than him like that. Put more muscle into it. Huh? That's right! Besides, the lighter couldn't have been in the left hand. Why not? Miss Blackwell said she saw an Earth emblem on the lighter, didn't she? Earth emblem's only on one side of the lighter. Right. There's no emblem on the other side. Exactly. blanket smooth as the judge's fine scalp. If the culprit had held the lighter in their left hand, they would have covered the emblem. Oh. What's more, this kind of lighter you can flick open with your thumb before lighting. So if the culprit had held it in their left hand with the emblem out and visible, they wouldn't have been able to open it, let alone light it. But if they'd held it in their right hand, they could easily open it and light it. That all means that the culprit was definitely holding the lighter with their right hand. No! Come back, my beautiful contradiction. It appears you planted a flower that bears no fruit. See how it withers before my flower of justice? He's tough. He managed to discredit almost everything I've proven. In justice we trust. Now do you see? I'm not this phantom you've been talking about. I mean, are you sure there really is a spy? I bet they're just a figment of your imagination. Oh, it's so sad. It's so very sad, but I'm afraid Miss Seiss is the culprit. Wait a minute. Hold it! Hmm? Detective Fulbright, I believe you just said that the emblem is only on one side of the lighter? You sure about that? Huh? Of course I'm sure. Why don't you take a look for yourself and see? Do you see an Earth emblem on both sides? Huh? I knew it. You're lying. Huh? Pardon me? You mean my bracelet reacted to his statement? He's definitely hiding something big. And I think if we use my talent, I might just be able to figure it out. Justice Stono, are you sure you can use that cheat of yours again? It's not cheating! Very well. Whether I like it or not, I suppose we should use whatever works right now. Go on, then. With Prosecutor Blackwell's reluctant blessing, I guess. Okay, you're up. Here goes. Detective Fulbright, repeat that last statement. What in the world are you up to? Alright, fine. I'll say it as many times as you like. The Earth emblem is only on one side, and you can see when it's held in the right hand.
Gotcha!
Huh? Uh-huh. I spy a nervous tick. A tick? Maybe I should squash it. That's not the kind of tick I had in mind. Could you repeat your statement? Wait a minute. What? Damn it. I did. It said left thumb on the Earth emblem. Did I mess up? Yeah, see?
Gotcha!
There we go. Okay, I got it this time. Detective Fulbright, you might not be aware of it yourself, but whenever you see the phrase the Earth emblem, your left thumb moves. In fact, it appears that you're running it along the edge of your holster. Mr. Lawyer, I don't have the foggiest notion what you're talking about. Be that as it may, I know it's got something to do with the lighter. Let me examine it. But why? You're not making any sense. You can't just... Be still and do as you're told, Fulbright. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't mind them having a look-see, should you? What? Not you too? I'm not sure what this is about, but if Prosecutor Blackwell insists, it must be something important. I will allow the defense to examine the lighter. Good. Maybe we'll learn something new. I hope so. Let's check every inch of this thing. So examine. Ugh. Back is covered in blood. Do you notice anything funny about the bloodstain? Right, suddenly breaks off unnaturally. Supposedly, the lighter was held with the right hand so the emblem was visible. If so, the print should be around where the emblem on the lid when you open it. There's definitely something off here. So this is the Earth emblem. See anything noteworthy? Hey, look at... The emblem's actually some kind of button! What the... Oh! Whoa, it transformed! Into... a handle? A trigger? Is this what I think it is? There's no question. What we have here is a gun. A what? A gun. So that's it. Your Honor, please recall this morning's trial, when Director Cosmos was on the stand. The bullet that hit the oxygen tank was extremely small, maybe a 10 caliber. This little compact gun probably takes bullets of that caliber. Looks like this is the gun that was fired at the scene. I'm flabbergasted. The lighter was a gun? So when Detective Fulbright would touch his holster, that's right. Whenever he mentioned the Earth emblem, he must have subconsciously thought about the secret behind the lighter. In other words, he knew it was a gun from the very beginning. A lighter that transforms into a gun seems like a spy gadget to me. It's not the kind of thing any ordinary person can get their hands on. In fact, I'd say it's strictly in the domain of elite spies. Detective Fulbright, you'll explain yourself. It's nothing for me to explain. I didn't know the lighter could transform. I mean, it was found in the Space Museum. I brought it straight in. I didn't even have time to check it out. Objection! Whenever you mentioned the Earth emblem, you touched your holster. You subconsciously did that because you knew it was a gun. Accuse me all you want, but where's your proof? You got any evidence that you knew the lighter was a gun? Not exactly. And whose prints are on it? Miss Sykes. Proves she was the culprit who fired the gun. It would appear the detective is right. Are you guys really gonna try and prove your client innocent or what? Although it pains me to do this, now that we are where we are, I have to make the following assertions, coming from the prosecution's side. The person who fired the gun at Director Cosmos in the lounge of the incident, and the person Miss Blackwell saw holding the lighter, and the person who murdered Mr. Terran, and who bombed the Space Center, are all the defendant Athena Sykes. The prints on the lighter are decisive proof. Now do you see? A man on the side of justice couldn't possibly be the culprit. And I think this about sums up Miss Sykes' part in the whole affair. The evidence certainly does seem to point in the defendant's guilt. Do you have anything to say, prosecutor? Evidence is everything in court. Therefore, Fulbright's claims stand firm. But calm down. He's just saying that because he has to as a prosecutor. Mr. Lawyer, our job is to pursue criminals in the name of justice. You shouldn't cast suspicion on people based on something as dubious as a habit. In fact, you have a bad habit of showing up in court with an awful case of bedhead.
Objection!
Says a man who wears sunglasses at night. If that's proof you want, it's proof you'll get. I'll prove this lighter's not Miss Sykes, but yours! Sounds like you hit on something. It's just, the prints and the lighter are the basis. I think we should reconsider the credibility of the evidence itself. You mean you think this lighter might be forged? That's right. Could all be part of Fulbright's bigger plot. Did he do anything out of the ordinary while I was off on my own? I can definitely think of a few things. If we assume he's been laying a big trap for us, there's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? Are they really Athena's fingerprints? They definitely matched her print data. But what about the data itself? Detective Fulbright! You were the one who provided us with the lighter and print data. Isn't that correct? Yeah, what about it? You say Miss Sykes' print matched the print data? But I have to wonder, was the data you used official? Mr. Wright, are you suggesting the evidence is fabricated? I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's re-examine the prints. Using the official sanctioned print data of the people involved. What? You dare insult the epitome of justice and integrity? There's no need for semantics. Your Honor, I lend my voice to the defense's request. You must allow the test to be rerun. Very well then, bailiff. It appears that the official data is here. And the results? It's just as the defense claims. This proves that the prints on the lighter do not belong to the defendant. Yes. The fingerprints actually belong to the victim, Mr. Claytarin. Those were Clay's fingerprints on the lighter. I see. Come to think of it, wasn't it you who collected the victim's prints? When you took the deceased's fingerprints, you could have easily planted his prints on the lighter with his blood, after which you wiped the blood off of his hand. By your own admission, you were also the one who compiled the phony print data. All to put the blame on Miss Sykes. This ploy must have been to distract us from the Phantom, who was behind everything. You were out to create the impression the Phantom wasn't the true culprit. So does this mean Detective Fulbright really is the Phantom? Remember the killer's escape route. No ordinary person would have been fearless enough to attempt it. Nobody but the Phantom, the man with no emotions, could have done it. Detective Fulbright, you were the only one who could have used that escape route. Fulbright, are you really the Phantom? Ransom me! Oh, so help me, I will slash you into tiny slivers where you stand. Alright, I'll talk. I confess. I'm not the Phantom. It's all over. Now be a man and admit it already. But I'm not a spy! I am an undercover investigator. I've actually been after the Phantom myself. Undercover investigator? Sounds less than wholesome to me. A person who hides the identity and secretly investigates in order to uncover information. And that's what you really are? That's right. I was working to track down the Phantom, but sadly, even though I was supposed to catch the guy, the spy ended up catching me. He took my family hostage, forced me to cooperate with him. Wait,
Objection!
what? You're telling us this now? But if what you say is true, then who's the mystery person Miss Blackwell and Mr. Starbucks saw? It was the Phantom, I tell you! All I did was help him by having that emergency ladder lowered!
Objection!
I don't believe you. Then how do you explain the fabricated lighter? That was also one of his demands. Being the detective in charge of the case, it was easy for me to fabricate evidence. Pinning the crime on Athena Sykes was just another one of the orders. You expect us to buy that? Fulbright. What was the Phantom's ultimate objective? I was told it was to sabotage the rocket launch. Someone who didn't want the launch to happen must have given him the order. Actually, I have to apologize to you too. The Phantom told me to get close to you. He ordered me to get back that psych profile you have on him. So he sent a buzzard of his own to tail me this past year, did he? I haven't been a champion of justice. I've just been a pawn of evil. A pawn of the Phantom who stole the rune rock and killed Miss Sykes, or Dr. Sykes 7 years ago. Enough. Just tell us the true identity. I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He's got top secret info on all sorts of corporations and countries. So there's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Oh, I bet even now there are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom after all. With the ceiling blown off, I suppose you're vulnerable to a sniper shot. Just 2 seconds ago, he was treating Athena like a criminal. Does he really think he's gonna lie his way out of this now? But on the surface, everything seems to make sense. This could be bad, Mr. Wright. We can't find a flaw. He's right, after we come all this way, you can't let him wriggle free. There. I finally told the truth. Now I hope you see how foolish it was to think I was the Phantom. Uh-oh. Oh. You're an intelligent man, Prosecutor Blackwell. You believe me, right? What the fuck? I believe you. I don't think you're the Phantom. What? How can you say that? It's obvious he
Silence!
Evidence is everything, right, Dono? And you must admit there's no clear evidence that Fulbright is the Phantom. As I recall, the only solid proof we've seen up to this point is the fact that Detective Fulbright fabricated evidence. I've known Fulbright here for a year now, and all this time he's been quite intent on rehabilitating me. I don't believe his efforts were a lie. Prosecutor Blackwell! This fool truly thought he could reform a death row inmate. He went so out of his way in his efforts, he actually became quite a nuisance. Prosecutor Blackwell, you believe me! Please tell me he hasn't really been taken in by this phony. However, even if it was against your will, you still acted as the Phantom's accomplice. You will repay pay the price for that. Throw yourself at my mercy, and don't you ever betray me again if you got that. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. Such a bond of trust is a rare and beautiful thing. In any case, it looks like everything has been resolved. I can now hand down a non-guilty verdict with confidence. Very good. I'm glad to hear it. It's all over. Everything's been cleared up and Miss Sykes will go free. Mr. Wright, we can't let the trial end here. If we do, that phantom, the man who killed Clay, will get away. I know, but what do we do? I don't have any proof that he is the phantom. Is this it? Is he gonna get away just like that? No, if you'll excuse me, my next investigation awaits. And with that, I'm off! Huh? Uh-oh. The defense, no. Not the defense. The defendant feels it's not time for a verdict yet. And I want to see this trial continue. What? But I was just about to declare you innocent of charges. Just doesn't feel right to be standing here. Hey, Apollo, think you could scooch over? Athena, what are you doing? Hope we don't get held in contempt of court. I have some questions for you, Detective Fulbright. Are you relieved that you're no longer under suspicion of being the Phantom? Are you grateful to Prosecutor Blackwell for what he's done? Of course I am, and I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart. Athena, what are you going to do with these questions? I've yet to hear a single emotion behind any of his words, boss. The suspicion against him has been cleared, but he's not feeling happy at all. Wait, does it mean... He may not have any evidence, but the heart doesn't lie. That's it. With your special ability, we might be able to stop him. Your Honor, the detective has been deeply traumatized by our accusations. Yes, well, even before all this, I thought he was a rather odd fellow. If he doesn't get counseling right away, who knows what might happen? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you believe the nonsense the defense is spouting? Fulbright, I think you'd better have that counseling. Not you too! You've been making batty remarks ever since you were accused of being the Phantom. Such as, you're an undercover investigator, and your family's been taken hostage. I fear you might have finally lost it. But I thought you believed me! Silence! How you abuse me so. What's going on here? That was an excellent bit of psychological manipulation. I knew you would catch on. Huh? Why are you calling me in here? Guess we left you in the dust, huh? Simon was only pretending to believe Fulbright, because he knew I'd noticed that there was a lack of emotions in his responses. So he gave me the chance to have a listen. And listen I did. Huh? You were working together just now? Come now, Athena. Show us what's inside this idiot's heart. You got it. Time to check the instant replay. Widget, mon ami, let's do this. Boop. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, gee. This is a telling sign, isn't it? But instead of making this like an hour and a half or 2 hour episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it here. And the finale of 5-5 will be next time. See you then.